Good afternoon, everyone at West Ham Network. This is Anton here bringing you my little bit of an opinion piece in terms of the game yesterday against Wolves. Winning 2-1, walking away with the 3 points, of course. Fantastic to at least get the win at home in front of the fans. And do you know what? It's funny because football does get pushed to one side when something drastically bad does happen. And I think the way the club honoured Mickey Antonio was absolutely fantastic. And get well to you, Mickey. It pushes and makes the important things rise to the top and make you realise what really is important in life. And fingers crossed you can make a recovery. And do you know what? If you do make a recovery, I really hope West Ham look after you. I really do, because you've served us a long time now. And touch wood, you can get back to your best. In terms of the performance, I don't know, does this feel like it's delaying tactics? Are we delaying the inevitable that essentially Lopetegui will be leaving the club eventually, depending on what head coach or manager West Ham are looking at? I have a feeling that that is what the case is. It wasn't a convincing win. It's a funny one, isn't it? It's a funny old one when you think about West Ham and how we're got 18 points on the board, but there's not massively anything to ram home about. Are we creating more chances? Possibly. Are we active in front of goal, or converting those opportunities? Not really, and compared to normal. And you're hearing all this stuff behind the scenes about fallouts with players here, there and everywhere. And it really does become hard to believe what to believe when things are reported out in the mainstream media. For example, Todibo didn't start the game yesterday, which disappoints me. And then you start to think, well, is there any truth in the fact that they got physical with each other? And then when you look at Todibo coming off the bench and you see Julian Lopetegui talking to him, they look like two people that don't have an issue with each other. So I'm just partly starting to think about, are all of the things that are coming out of the club, again, I say this to us all so many times, be careful what we listen to, take things with a pinch of salt until you know that facts, and maybe we do know we had a calf issue coming off from the Arsenal game, and maybe that could be the reason why he hasn't started or played. I'm not sure necessarily exactly the real reason for it, but just be mindful of what information you do read and understand, because on a daily basis you can see news reports change from morning to noon to the evening. No word of a lie, that is the West Ham world, the roller coaster we're involved in. In terms of the performance, I found it quite flat. I wasn't excited. I was watching it with my dad and my son and my nephew and all of us. There was not really an element of excitement in the game, but that's been most part of the season, to be honest. That's been the West Ham season. There's not really been anything to ram home about in terms of performances, except for, honestly, I could say hand on heart, the Newcastle game. I genuinely enjoyed that performance, but in terms of West Ham, being convincing, that was few and far between. And that's why I'm starting to feel like maybe West Ham are just looking for different options to see what else is out there. And maybe that is why they're holding off. I don't know. Can you sack a manager? Can you get rid of a manager when you win a game? Historically, they say no. Is this just delaying the inevitable? Is it resetting the Lopetegui clock and giving him more chance? If he gets beat by Bournemouth, is he out the door? It's a crazy world in this West Ham world, but what we're looking for is better performances, and we're still not getting them, and convincing performances. To be honest with you, if VAR served its purpose, I genuinely think they probably would have possibly won the game last night. I think there was definitely one contentious VAR decision that didn't go in Will's direction, but it could have and probably should have. Our 2 goals that were disallowed were rightly so disallowed as well. So maybe we got lucky, especially at home. I don't know. Put your comments in and let me know your thoughts on the performance. But do you think the clock has been reset for Lopetegui? Is it inevitable that Lopetegui is heading out the door? Keep your comments coming in. Come on, your hands.